will pass this session.
We begin tonight with crisis in the classroom as the clock continues to tick down on school choice in Tennessee.
Well, there are 3 different versions of the voucher bill tonight, and the legislative session is expected to end in a matter of days. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller talking to Republicans and Democrats about the status of the bill.
Governor Lee and other Republican lawmakers that we spoke with today believe that they are making progress and will reach an agreement before session ends. But some of the Democratic lawmakers that we spoke with say that there's still a big disagreement between both chambers. The school voucher bill, also known as the school choice bill, would give families the choice to send their children to private or public schools. Right now, the governor, House, and Senate have 3 different versions of the bill. The Senate's version aligns more with Governor Lee's. Meanwhile, members of the House are pushing for some changes.
Reduce testing, more time to teach, less evaluations on our educators so that they can spend more time to teach, more flexibility in how we do our interventions with our students.
Republicans from the Senate, like Leader Jack Johnson, are listening to this feedback, and he adds they are working together to reach a compromise.
Some of those are some really good ideas and some things that we should probably take action on. And so that's where we're doing some negotiation, or what are some of the things that the House has in their version of the bill.
But some Democratic members of the House do not want to see this bill passed and aren't as confident that it will.
From my understanding, there is still a pretty wide disagreement between the Senate and the House on that bill for various reasons. So I hope that we can adjourn sine die and that bill, stays where it is now.
Representative John Ray Clemens refers to this bill as a voucher scam and believes it will undermine public schools. Fox 17 News then asked Governor Lee if he believes this bill will pass before session ends.
I'm certainly hopeful and confident that we will get to a place where that becomes law in the state.
A bill he's been pushing hard for. Representative Sapicki says that the bill will be heard in subcommittee on Tuesday, and they are pushing to get the vote on the House floor before session ends. And Leader Johnson says that they hope to do the same in the Senate. Reporting from the state capitol, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Obviously, this couldn't be more critical for the future of our state. We want to know what you think. As session winds down, should state lawmakers make passing school choice and voucher program a priority? 66.8% say yes, 33.2% say no, and that's on 377 votes. The poll's live. We'd love to have you weigh in as well. Just use your smartphone, scan the QR code on the right-hand side of your screen. It'll link you to our poll tonight on our X page, which is at Fox Nashville, and we will update these results later in the broadcast. Crisis in the Classroom is our ongoing commitment to our viewers to expose problems in our schools, as well as searching for solutions. If you have a story you'd like to see us cover, send an email to news@fox17.com or phone our tip line, which is 615-266-4149.
Tonight in Operation Crime and Justice, Clarksville police asking for help in a burglary and theft case. Police say on Wednesday afternoon, the woman that you see here wearing a royal blue jogging outfit came into the Villages at the River Club. Investigators say that she asked about a job and then went into an office, stole personal IDs, cars, and cash, and then left cards and cash. A few minutes later, the woman tried to use the victim's stolen credit card at a nearby Dollar General, but it was declined. If you know who this woman is, you're asked to call Clarksville Police.
New tonight, Governor Bill Lee signing a bill into law that changes how our state, in terms of law enforcement, deals with illegal immigrants. This new law requires Tennessee police officers and sheriff's deputies to communicate with federal immigration authorities if they find illegal immigrants. It also requires them to identify, detain, and deport these individuals. Immigrant advocates warn, however, this law is broad and confusing and could embolden rogue law enforcement officers to target migrant families. This new law will take effect July the 1st.
I was totally disgusted and appalled.
New tonight, a Madison family believing that they're living with black mold and say their apartment complex is not taking this seriously. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker here in studio tonight after trying to get answers from the apartment management.
Now, this photo here shows a little of what this young couple is dealing with while living at the Breckenridge Apartments over in Madison. Now, this black substance here coming in and out of the vents is not only forming on their clothes, but has also crept up onto the ceiling here. And while they're confident that this is black mold, the apartment complex believes that's not the case. This is what a young couple is living with every day in their Madison apartment.
It's been hard to breathe, like as far as wheezing. I've been having shortness of breath, as well as my boyfriend having sinus issues for months, and his sinuses have actually been inflamed.
And Carolyn McNeil wants the problem remedied quick, as she recently learned she's pregnant.
It's very early on as far as development of the child, so it's very important that this is solved immediately.
McNeil says for months she and her boyfriend did not know why they were feeling sick until they discovered what was behind several of their vents a few days ago.
I was totally disgusted and appalled.
And while McNeil believes this is black mold, which has also creeped onto her ceilings, she says maintenance told her otherwise.
After they sent maintenance out here, he tried to tell us it was due to candles burning. I think it's totally misleading and them just trying to cover up themselves, honestly, and not take accountability for it, in my opinion.
To get answers, we went to the leasing office ourselves. It's off-site in Hendersonville.
I'm with Fox 17 News. Just wanted to see if I could talk to someone regarding a possible black mold situation.
The woman who greeted me then went and made a phone call. She came back 10 minutes later with a number to call. We called and got no answer. For now, they sleep in the living room, as the worst of the suspected mold is in the bedroom. That's where they keep their clothes in bags now to avoid damage. Now, McNeil tells me if she terminates her lease early, she not only risks paying a fee, but also having this on her rental history. However, she does have her own contractor that should be going out there next week to inspect that suspected mold. For now, reporting in studio, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
It's your money, and while it's been a very good year in terms of federal money coming back to Tennessee, the records show it is a very bad year for Nashville specifically. Our partners with the government watchdog group OpenTheBooks.com have crunched the numbers. They show $361 million in so-called pork barrel spending is coming back to Tennessee, but only $3 million of that money is coming to the Nashville area.
If you remember, Davidson County, the congressional district, is now split among 3 Congress members. There were 3 districts. It used to be 1. And 2 of those Congress members did not request earmarks.
And the one who did, 6th District Congressman John Rose, asked for $3 million, which he got. It will fund improvements at the commuter rail station in Donaldson. Last year, when Nashville was in a single congressional district, then Congressman Jim Cooper asked for and received $18 million in earmarks.
All right, a pretty active week weather-wise with that rain moving through, but cleared out just in time for the weekend plans.
Yes, we're
Applause
looking
all around.
I know it's really going to be a great weekend.
Good job, Katie.
I'll take the applause and I'll take the good, the niceties.
You always get the blame.
Yes, because I do
Sure.
always get the blame. We're in for a weekend winner, I think. Both days are looking great. Sunshine, the story, and temperatures are going to be warming up as we head towards Saturday and Sunday. Low 80s expected by Sunday. We'll talk about our next chance for rain, but until then, we can enjoy the nice weather. Nice busy look here on Broadway this evening. Temperatures still sitting in the upper 50s. It's comfortable outside with mainly clear skies. Radar picture continues to show a few showers mainly in Kentucky now. Had a few earlier this afternoon, but as we head through the evening hours, we will look at clear skies for the overnight. That will allow temperatures to drop back into those low 40s out towards the Cumberland Plateau. Here in Nashville, a little bit warmer in those upper 40s. Murfreesboro and Clarksville both sitting at about 43 degrees. We'll talk about how long this warm pattern is expected to stick around and walk you through our next chance for rain. It's in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Megan.
Thank you, Katie. Now to Operation Crime and Justice. An early morning traffic stop in Memphis sends 5 people to the hospital after a shootout with police officers. One officer and one of the people inside the car died from their injuries. Reporter Sheila O'Connor has more on this situation unfolding tonight in Memphis.
Officer down, officer. Check. How many?
With a black band around her badge, interim Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis announced one of her officers was killed in the line of duty.
That officer is Joseph McKinney. He was assigned to the range station.
Davis said McKinney joined the department in 2020. The interim chief paused as she described the emotions the department is experiencing.
The men and women of the Memphis Police Department are hurt right now. As chief of police, I am hurt right now. At once again, senseless deaths in our community by gun violence.
The suspects, police say, started the shootout just 17 and 18 years old. Both were shot and brought here to Regional 1 Hospital. The 18-year-old did not survive. Interim Chief Davis noting the emotional toll this event will have, noting there are 2 families that are now grieving.
We have a wife that's grieving now. We have the family of the suspects that are grieving now.
Memphis Mayor Paul Young with a call to action to the community to stop the senseless violence.
We need our parents to step up. We need our churches to step up. We have to be the village that is going to protect this community. Families are being torn apart with the violence that we're seeing in our community.
Community leaders searching for answers.
As a community, we have to do better.
As an entire department mourns the loss of one of their own. In Memphis, Sheila O'Connor, Fox News.
Well, the TBI is now working to independently determine the series of events leading up to that deadly shooting.
Trouble best avoided, the traffic tie-up that you...
of people after serious accidents. If you've been injured, ask around. I'll bet someone you trust will tell you, get Hughes and Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
Right now, Fox 17 traffic alert for the weekend. It involves the I-40, I-65 interchange on the west side of downtown, the one highlighted in the circle there on your map. TDOT's going to be closing the I-65 northbound ramp that connects 65 to 40 this weekend. Now, this is the downtown area. If you're trying to figure out exactly where this is. All right, you're leaving downtown. You need to go out west Nashville. This is the ramp that'll take you out that way and put you on Interstate 40. They worked on it last weekend. They're working on it again this weekend to upgrade the railing. This is a state project, and TDOT says they should be able to finish this weekend, have everything back to normal in time for rush hour on Monday.
In your health news tonight, Black women are facing life-threatening health disparities when it comes to having a baby. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say Black women are 3 times more likely to die from a pregnancy-related issue than white women. Most of those deaths are preventable, and we have some expert advice to help women reduce their risk.
It's an alarming rise. The maternal death rate in the U.S. keeps inching upward. The latest CDC data from 2021 shows more than 1,200 women died of maternal causes, up from 754 deaths in 2019.
And the situation is even worse for Black mothers because their maternal mortality rate is more than twice that of white patients or Hispanic patients.
The leading cause of pregnancy-related deaths is mental health conditions, followed by excessive bleeding, heart conditions, infections, blood clots, high blood pressure, and a lack of access to good health care is a key factor in this crisis.
You have hospital closures, so we call them some OB deserts, where hospitals have shut down their labor and delivery wards, and so they don't have the nursing staff, they don't have the physicians and the other techs available to take care of these patients.
The CDC says more than 80% of pregnancy-related deaths are preventable. Pregnant women and their families are urged to talk to a doctor if something is off or concerning. Recognize urgent maternal warning signs, including severe headache, extreme swelling of the hands or face, trouble breathing, or heavy vaginal bleeding, and seek immediate care if they're experiencing any of these symptoms. Women should also share their pregnancy history during each visit with their doctor. More than half of maternal deaths happen up to a year after birth.
Maternal health care doesn't stop after the patient gives birth.
Well, the CDC says barriers to quality health care, underlying chronic health conditions, and even racism and implicit bias are contributing factors in higher Black maternal mortality rates.
Turning to the weather, a significant cool down after, the rain moved through, but I understand it's not going to last long.
It will not last long as we head towards the weekend. It could be some of the warmest weather we've seen so far this spring.
Like we like. Florida girl likes that.
Megan's like, Florida girl likes that. Yeah, we're going to see it for a couple of days, and it's going to be maybe mid-80s by the early part of next week. So yeah, I think we're starting to get into that time where we'll get some hints of summer-like weather, but we're not quite done with spring just yet. A little taste of what's to come. We'll talk more about what looks to be or hinting at a big cool down later in the month of April, and we'll have that a little bit later on. In the meantime, we can enjoy the warmer weather that's on the way for us. Temperatures in those 70s, even the low 80s as we head towards Sunday. So tomorrow looking great, 50, comfortably cool in the morning hours with that sunshine around. We'll be right around 70 by 12 and mid 70s by the afternoon hours, low 60s 8 o'clock, mid 70s by 12 on Sunday. And I do think we hit the low 80s for Sunday afternoon, all the while looking nice as far as our muggy meter is concerned. I've brought back for the season, and I thought I would bring it back on a good note. We're not talking about humid weather or sticky weather, but nice weather. So it'll still feel nice, even though temperatures are starting to creep into those 80s for the later half of the weekend and into early next week. Part of that is due to this northwesterly flow that we've seen over the past few days. So it'll take a few days before we start to see a shift in those winds and we start to bring in a little bit more moisture at least. Saturday afternoon, things are nice and quiet. Same goes for Sunday. Sunday, we stay mainly dry. We'll see a few more clouds around given where this boundary is nearby at least, but we will be dry for the afternoon. Won't be until Monday that we're starting to track some showers to our west, and by early Tuesday, that's when I expect more of the rain to arrive. So some scattered showers around for Tuesday. Now Tuesday in the afternoon hours, we'll be looking to our west here for the potential for maybe a few strong thunderstorms, and then potentially Tuesday evening into Wednesday, maybe a few showers and storms headed our way. So this is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center, and this is looking ahead to Tuesday here. Majority of the severe weather threat stays in West Tennessee and toward the Boot Heel of Missouri and into Arkansas. But it's close enough. It's knocking on our doorstep that we need to keep an eye on it as we head through the evening hours on Tuesday, I think. Typically, I'll say, given history and what I've seen over the past 10 years here, that normally when we see severe weather that's just to our west like this, we will often find some showers and storms moving into Middle Tennessee. Hopefully, it'll be one of those situations where it's decaying as it pushes into the area. So we've got some time to iron out those details. I'll walk you through actually one of our long-range models showing where we may or may not have some of these thunderstorms into early next week. That coming up a little bit later in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
I'm Janae Bowens in Washington with a look at how much more you're paying for everyday essentials compared to 2020.
Hey there, hope you're having a great night. I'm Jennifer Waddell from Fox 17 News this morning. Wanted to let you know that April is National Distracted Driving Awareness.
Hash browns and all the best parts of breakfast in a warm tortilla? You get the goodness of Hardee's Homestyle Breakfast Burritos, available in 3 varieties. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
Inflation and economic concerns continue to be a primary focus in the presidential race.
Well, Fox 17 News' Janae Bowens has a look at how much more Americans are paying for goods and services since the pandemic hit and whether it will impact voters come November. And by the way, we want to know what you think. You can scan that QR code that will appear here shortly on your screen during this story to weigh in.
Higher prices for everyday needs impact everyone. Your total is. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows Americans are facing huge price hikes since February 2020, paying 20% more for milk, 30% more for bread, 50% more for eggs. Rent is up 20% and electricity up 30%.
For every household, it's different.
Republican analysis from the Joint Economic Committee shows Americans are paying $23,760 more for household essentials since January 2021.
Particularly Americans on fixed incomes or people who don't have a locked-in mortgage at 2.5% like they got 5 years ago. That is going to be a more difficult, that's going to be a bigger problem.
And on top of that, gas prices are up. Friday's national average for a gallon of gas is $3.63. Around this time back in 2020, when demand plummeted due to the pandemic, the national average was $1.86.
It's, just expensive.
Despite the price hikes, President Joe Biden is defending his economic policies.
They just want to cut taxes for the wealthy and raise taxes on other people. And so I think they have no plan. Our plan is one I think is still sustainable.
But with numbers like these, it has Donald Trump's campaign asking voters,
are you better off now than you were in January of 2021?
No, I'm not. I mean, that's me being honest. I'm working 5 times harder. When I calculate everything, hours worked to amount of money bringing in is nowhere near as high as it was.
And Trump doubling down in Atlanta earlier this week.
The number is out of control. Biden has no idea what the hell he's doing.
According to a new survey from the University of Michigan, consumer sentiment has slightly decreased from last month and remains below pre-pandemic levels. It's something that could have an impact on who voters choose in November. In Washington, I'm Janae Bowens.
During this story, we had a QR code on the screen asking you to vote on our poll, which essentially said, are your personal finances better off today than they were 4 years ago? 366 votes coming in. 75.4% say no. Our thanks to all who cast a vote.
Still to come, a federal judge makes a decision that could drastically affect the lawsuit surrounding this standoff that led to a deadly shooting on I-65 back in 2022.
A chilling warning from the FBI.
Don't let them tell your story. I can help. Call us at 615-242-9000.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by B.F. Myers Furniture.
A federal judge has denied a request to dismiss an excessive force lawsuit against 6 Metro police officers and 1 Mount Juliet police officer after the deadly shooting of Landon Estep on Interstate 65 back in 2022. The entire confrontation caught on body camera footage, which will be the centerpiece of this case.
Come on, brother, just put your hand up, drop the knife, and let's figure this out.
A half-hour standoff on Interstate 65 in 2022. 37-year-old Landon Estep is surrounded by officers who can be heard giving Estep commands in an effort to de-escalate the situation.
Landon, please, brother, don't do it.
When Estep reached for his pocket, 9 officers opened fire. We later learned Estep didn't have a weapon, but a metal object instead. District Attorney Glenn Funk did not press charges against the officers, but Estep's widow has filed an excessive force civil lawsuit against 6 Metro officers and 1 Mount Juliet officer. A federal judge chose not to grant immunity to the officers involved, meaning the lawsuit moves forward, and he threw out claims against Metro Nashville and Mount Juliet governments. David Cooper, who specializes in civil litigation, is not connected with the case, but gave us his thoughts.
Well, they are individually liable. And then, of course, a lot of times the question becomes, will their city or county employer defend them, cover them in the event of a judgment? Most of the time they do. But they would be individually liable, yes.
Some members of the Fraternal Order of Police are worried cases like these may impact local police departments' ability to recruit new members. David Cooper doesn't think this case moves the needle in that regard and says that's exactly why we have qualified immunity.
I mean, it's designed to shield police officers on certain routine matters, certain routine police matters. And so, and of course, when they step out of bounds, then the civil courts will look into that. But I don't think it would have any immediate effect on police recruiting, things like that, no.
Well, an attorney for Landon Estep's wife says this: we are pleased with the ruling of the district court and are confident that this decision will be upheld in the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals. Our client, his wife, and his child deserve a swift and fair resolution. These cases serve as a reminder that we have a long way to go as a society to make sure these encounters don't reoccur in the future.
The Nashville Fire Department is 36 members stronger tonight. Here's why. This graduation ceremony at Madison Church of Christ today celebrating a new group of cadets who are now ready for service. This group includes 6 crossover recruits. They're EMS personnel who went through specialized training to become Metro firefighters. Those 6 will be assigned now to a fire suppression division. Another grad, a Tennessee Highway Patrol trooper who attended the fire academy and graduated as a licensed EMT. These recruits will immediately join the department and help protect your family.
Could terrorists strike the U.S. in the near future? The highest levels of law enforcement say that there are new worries about how America's enemies could look to do damage. Fox 17 News' Matt Gelka explains.
Now, increasingly concerning is the potential for a coordinated attack here in the homeland, akin to the ISIS-K attack we saw at the Russia concert hall just a couple weeks ago.
A chilling warning from the FBI's Christopher Wray to Congress this week. The FBI director outlined the growing worldwide threats to America from terrorists around the world.
Organizations like Al-Qaeda, like ISIS, express an intent to conduct attacks against us. It's something we need to take very seriously.
In the days after the March ISIS-K attack in Moscow that killed more than 130 people, Florida Senator Marco Rubio warned terrorists are moving through America's southern border.
There is a trafficking network out there that specializes in moving people. They do it for profit, moving people and migrants around the world, including across our southern border, who have links to ISIS.
A report this week revealed a man from Afghanistan on the terror watch list crossed the border illegally in 2023 and was apprehended, then released multiple times, including as recently as February. He has no restrictions on his movements until his ICE hearing in 2025. What does a potential attack look like? Experts say it likely wouldn't be on the scale of 9/11, but could come from a homegrown threat inspired by attacks abroad.
Since 9/11, the threats have been far more mundane and limited. Usually someone untrained picking up a gun and shooting people. There haven't even been that many bombings when it comes to jihadist attacks, at least compared to, say, the 1970s and 1980s in the United States. So the threats tend to be low level and local, and that's the primary focus of government agencies.
The FBI director told lawmakers that it's not time to panic, but it is time to be vigilant. And while there is no specific threat to the homeland, another cause for concern could be that attacks are carried out on Americans abroad. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Showers continue to clear to our north and to our east here. This is a part of the big system that was sort of lingering through much of yesterday and continues to wrap out of the Great Lake region now. Most of the rain in East Tennessee, even in eastern Kentucky, and will clear here. Still, we're having to deal with those allergies. Pollen, especially tree pollen, is just off the charts right now, and several different trees here coming in from the Allergy, Asthma and Sinus Center report today. Oak, pine, maple, mulberry and birch, all with issues for us. Weeds and grass in the low category, and unfortunately mold category in the moderate category as well. So allergies, unfortunately, it's just that time of year, and we look ahead here to this weekend. We'll look at a couple of dry but sunny days, warm, of course, through the afternoon, but a cool start to the day in Crossville, especially down to about 41 for tomorrow morning, 44 as we head towards Clarksville, and even Nashville sitting at 46 degrees. We'll walk you through how long this nice warm spell is expected to be with us, and we're going to have a look too at that next chance for showers and storms, timing it out in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Scott.
Katie.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Play free games that you could win money. Play this month's feature game for a chance to win $100 or $1,000. Play daily to get additional entries for a chance to win $1,000. Remember, play daily. Go to the Game Center on our website and you could win money. This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
Well, the front office knew the Tennessee Titans had to make some improvements in the offseason on the offensive line. And today the team traded for another offensive tackle. It sent a 7th-round pick to the Cleveland Browns in exchange for tackle Leroy Watson. He played in 7 games last season for the Browns, never started, but does have a connection with the Titans' new offensive line coach Bill Callahan, father of head coach Brian Callahan. Watson is the 3rd offensive lineman the Titans have acquired since the end of last season.
Well, the NFL draft less than 2 weeks away now, where Titans head coach Brian Callahan will have some tough decisions to make on the future of his team. Fox 17 sports director Jill Jelnick explains why the Titans feel pretty good on the defensive side of the ball and why they made the move for the top cornerback in the league.
Titans head coach Brian Callahan said that when it came to free agency, the first thing they did was look at the upcoming NFL draft. Him and his staff assessed the talent pool in the draft and noticed it was not deep with cornerbacks. That's why they went out and signed one of the best cornerbacks in the league in L'Jarius Sneed.
He's going to be sacked way back at the 22 for a loss of 16.
Titans signing Sneed to a 4-year deal worth $76.4 million. And a big reason why is his ability to challenge the best receivers in the NFL. Defensive coordinator Denard Wilson saying, yes, he has unbelievable speed, but it's also Sneed's ability to completely take out the best player on the other team, which then allows the defense to do their thing.
See the smile on my face? No, I put a big smile on my face. Obviously, you know, during that transition period, you know, doing free agency, when you get a good player like him, you know, you're always going to be happy. He's a guy that's been consistent throughout his career with the opportunities that he's presented. He's had success, and when you are consistent, you have success, you bring extreme value to a football team.
As having to compete against him, he's such a fantastic player, and the mentality that he brings to the defense, and you pair him with Cheeto, 2 guys that are really physical, really aggressive. I think they changed the whole demeanor of what you ask in the secondary and then how they play. And I think when you add Roger into that mix as well, the fire that he plays with as a nickel, that's a really good group of corners that play at a high level and demand the same standard.
Titans adding several key players to the defensive side of the ball during the free agency period. However, Coach Callahan made it clear they're not done yet. The NFL draft coming up in just 2 weeks. Day 1 set for Thursday, April 25th, where the Titans will have the number 7 overall pick in the draft. Reporting from the Titans practice facility, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Jill. And Preds are back in action tonight, taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. They're on the road, though. Preds clinching a playoff spot. A win tonight would help them lock up that first wild card spot in the West. Right now, the Preds lead 5-1 in the 3rd period, so looking good.
Coming up, talking more about our chance for storms as we head back to work. Next week, we'll time it out.
$1 per gallon at the pump. You can always discover more ways to save big every day. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen.
In Operation Crime and Justice, Murfreesboro police are encouraging potential victims to come forward in a child rape case involving a traveling minister. 32-year-old Benjamin Sean Garlick and his wife, 30-year-old Shanta, have been re-indicted in this case. Benjamin facing several charges, including 7 counts of aggravated rape of a child. His wife also facing several charges, including facilitation of aggravated rape of a child. Detectives are urging anyone, particularly those in the Hispanic community, who believe that they could be a victim, to come forward.
Looking ahead now to Sunday, NASCAR heading to Texas over the weekend, and Heather Williams now setting the table for race fans ahead of the big race.
Now here's a look at some of the headlines you should be keeping an eye on as NASCAR heads to Texas this weekend. William Byron already has 3 wins on the season. Are we watching something special with the 24 team?
You never get too comfortable in this sport just because it's so tough to put the whole year together, but we're off to a great start.
Fans are still not happy with the racing on the short tracks, but what could be done to fix it?
If I could wave a magic wand, I'd say let's put another 150 horsepower to these things. Let's give them some tires that will wear out, not in 5 laps or 10 laps, but maybe at Martinsville 60, 70 laps into a run.
And NASCAR finally heads back to a 1.5 mile track this weekend. So what's the key to getting it done in Texas?
This car is just better on these 1.5 mile tracks and, puts on better racing. Texas has been good to us. We ran really well there in the fall race. We didn't get to finish, but we were, a top 2 car all day on speed.
You can watch my full conversation with Eric Jones and our expert Chris Carrier on the Backstretch podcast, which you can find on Apple Podcasts and on YouTube. On the Backstretch, I'm Heather Williams.
All right, heading on into the weekend. That's where my head's at.
And I think we're all there.
Got warmer weather greeting us.
Yeah, we do. And, I think the weather's probably helping us get to that point. Most people are already there,
Yeah, right.
Most people are already in bed, I would say.
Hey, I'm watching the clock.
We're getting there, yeah. We start off with a live look at Broadway here, and you can see folks still out and about enjoying downtown comfortable. It's sitting at 56. And just for perspective, I wanted to show you temperature-wise where we typically stand for this month. About this time, what is today? It's after the 10th. This is the 12th. We are looking at about 71, 72 degrees on average. And from there, we're going to climb into the mid to upper 70s by the end of the month. Again, this is just our average, and we do climb above and below that all the time. Now, as we go into next week, I mentioned this potential for some severe weather. On Monday, it's looking like a big severe weather event, possibly right now, well west of us, but will be a big talker in the weather community for portions of Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, Missouri, on up towards Omaha, Nebraska, and Iowa. So we'll be watching this closely here. This will be part of the same system that eventually pushes closer to us come Tuesday here. So Tuesday, the bigger threat for severe weather west of us still, but it's close enough that we need to keep our eye on it as we go through probably Tuesday night and into Wednesday. So let's take a look. This is a Sunday at 8 p.m. and we'll walk you into early next week. I mentioned Monday being the big talker for the weather community, showers and thunderstorms popping up. The potential for some very large hail in portions of Texas and Oklahoma looks likely. This same system will then provide showers and thunderstorms for folks throughout Missouri and Arkansas. There you can see the line starting to build in late Tuesday night. And then Tuesday evening into early Wednesday morning, we'll need to watch for some showers pushing through. As the front then redevelops going into, or I should say as the front pushes in, showers and storms redevelop along that line and could provide us with a few possible strong thunderstorms for Wednesday. Again, there's several days between now and then. It's just something we're keeping our eye on, but I would say that's going to be our next big weather maker that we are tracking here in portions of Middle Tennessee. Beyond that, a big cool down looks to be possible for us. This is looking at our 8 to 14 day outlook as far as temperatures are concerned, and this looks at the 20th through the 26th of April, and we're in this bullseye here of below average conditions. Now it's looking like it's possible, we'll say, at this point here. All signals are pointing at the potential for a cooler than average couple of days for us. Doesn't mean every day in that time period will be below average, but the general trend is below average weather. And again, remember our average is right around about 71, 72. So could be looking at maybe some low to mid 60s possibly. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Temperatures in those upper 70s close to 80 for the weekend. And showers and storms, as I mentioned, coming in for Tuesday. Tuesday night into Wednesday will be the time frame we're looking at. I think some of these storms that could be maybe a little bit on the strong side. Still something we'll keep an eye on and, of course, keep you up to date as we get closer.
So we've held prices for the last year without an increase, but now that...
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
In the economy, experts predict the world supply of cocoa will drop more than 10% this season. The result will be a spike in retail prices across the board. Cost of cocoa has tripled in the past year. Densonful's Fine Candy Company has been serving sweet treats up in Memphis now for 122 years. The company's president says this is the most dramatic price increase her family has ever seen.
We're just seeing these prices escalate dramatically, more than it's ever happened before. It is outrageous. We are expecting our raw chocolate costs to increase by at least 100%.
Denstal's now bracing for an inevitable price increase in late summer, maybe early fall. She says the only question is how much.
Well, revisiting the scene of the Ohio train derailment disaster, we'll see what has been uncovered.
This weekend only, don't miss Ashley's 72-hour sale. Get 30% off your first item plus 20% off the rest of your purchase. Or get 0% interest for 5 years. Shop now, spend less, and get more. Only at Ashley.
Well, this week on Full Measure, the federal government made major pledges to help after a ship recently crashed into and destroyed a major bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. More than a year ago, there were promises of help from a train company and the federal government after a toxic train derailment devastated the town of East Palestine, Ohio. Full Measure returned to the site of the catastrophe to find out how that turned out.
One of the things that we talked about last time was you said you didn't really know if you could trust everything you were being told back then.
Yes.
Do you still feel that way?
It's hard. There's conflicting information. There's still neighbors that aren't home and that have said that their homes are testing back, contaminated. Do we fully trust what they've been telling us? The railroad, they're here. They didn't turn their backs on us. They've been doing the work. EPA has been here. They haven't left us. But just something like in the back of my mind is just like, can it really truly be good in what they say?
Well, this week on Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson, what federal promises of assistance are really worth in the long run. That's Sunday morning at 7:30 right here on Fox 17.
Now looking ahead to Sunday morning and Nashville in focus, when the topics for our panel will include the tough budget decisions both city and state leaders will have to make, with tax revenues being largely flat.
Where there was all this extra money that was lingering around for COVID that we were able to apply to various different projects, you're starting to see that disappear, and you've got to get back to reality of what can we really afford to fund.
But when you become mayor, when you become governor, you got to make sure the trains run on time, you got to make sure the garbage gets picked up, presumably the potholes get filled.
Presumably. Our panel also talks about the possibility of a special legislative session if lawmakers fail to pass some version of a school choice bill, and a measure that would allow Tennessee teachers to go armed, becoming one step closer to law. That's Sunday morning, 6:30 on Nashville in Focus.
This is Fox 17.
On Tuesday, and they are pushing to get the vote on the House floor before session ends. And Leader Johnson says that they hope to do the same in the Senate. Reporting from the state capitol, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Earlier in the newscast, we told you about our nightly X poll this evening, asking whether state lawmakers should make school vouchers a priority as the legislative session winds down. And here are the results. We're up to 400 votes, and the numbers holding fairly steady. 66.5% say yes, 33.5% say no. Our thanks for all who took time to vote.
Well, new tonight, a Madison couple believes that they are living with black mold while pregnant. They say their landlords have not been much help. Carolyn McNeil and her boyfriend say they started feeling sick a few months back, but did not notice the black substance growing behind their vents until a few days ago. While they are confident it is black mold, they say their leasing office believes otherwise, although they did not respond when we reached out for comment.
After they sent maintenance out here, he tried to tell us it was due to candles burning. I think it's totally misleading and them just trying to cover up themselves, honestly, and not take accountability for it, in my opinion.
Well, McNeil says the suspected mold also appeared on some of their clothing, which they had to throw out. The remaining items are sitting in trash bags as they sleep in the living room.
Heading
Heading into the weekend, we're in for a good one. After a couple of cool days, rainy days, we've got the sunshine back for tomorrow and for Sunday, and temperatures climbing into the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees. It's going to be well above average for this time of year, which is around 71 to 72, but we're closer to about 78, 79 for tomorrow and closer to 80, 81 for Sunday. So definitely warming for us for the next few days. We'll talk more about our next rain chance coming up. Things remain pretty mild downtown. Temperatures sitting at 58 under mainly clear sky. And you can see radar here. You've got these showers up in the Great Lakes region. This is all part of the same system that pushed through for us yesterday and even part of today. This is going to continue to churn and push out of the entire area, leaving us with that clear sky as we head through the overnight hours. Clear skies and light winds. The breezy winds have subsided as well. That's going to put us in those low 40s for the overnight. It's a little chilly for us for tomorrow morning. Columbia, Dickson, Clarksville, and Murfreesboro all sitting at about 43 degrees. We'll be slightly warmer here in town, around 47, and out toward the plateau, Crossville sitting at 41, Cookeville right around 42 degrees. Coming up, we'll talk more about not only the warm weather that we have, how long it will last, and we're going to look ahead to our next chance for rain, where we might see a few strong thunderstorms going into next week. That all in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Scott.
Katie, thank you. Looking ahead to Sunday now, a 400-mile race for the stars of NASCAR down at the Texas Motor Speedway. You can see that, by the way, live on Fox Sports 1. Tonight, Heather Williams breaks down what race fans need to know before the starting flag drops.
Now here's a look at some of the headlines you should be keeping an eye on as NASCAR heads to Texas this weekend. William Byron already has 3 wins on the season. Are we watching something special with the 2014?
You never get too comfortable in this sport just because it's so tough to put the whole year together, but we're off to a great start.
Fans are still not happy with the racing on the short tracks, but what can be done to fix it?
If I could wave a magic wand, I'd say let's put another 150 horsepower to these things. Let's give them some tires that will wear out, not in 5 laps or 10 laps, but maybe at Martinsville 60, 70 laps into a run.
And NASCAR finally heads back to a 1.5 mile track this weekend. So what's the key to getting it done in Texas?
This car is just better on these 1.5 mile tracks and, puts on better racing. Texas has been good to us. We ran really well there in the fall race. We didn't get to finish, but we were, a top 2 car all day on speed.
You can watch my full conversation with Eric Jones and our expert Chris Carrier on the Backstretch podcast, which you can find on Apple Podcasts and on YouTube. On the Backstretch, I'm Heather Williams.
Well, this week on Full Measure, the federal government made major pledges to help after a ship recently crashed into and destroyed a major bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. More than a year ago, there were promises of help from a train company and the federal government after a toxic train derailment devastated the town of East Palestine, Ohio. Full Measure returned to the site of the catastrophe to find out how it all turned out.
One of the things that we talked about last time was you said you didn't really know if you could trust everything you were being told back then.
Yes.
Do you still feel that way?
It's hard. There's conflicting information. There's still neighbors that aren't home and that have said that their homes are testing back, contaminated. Do we fully trust what they've been telling us? The railroad, they're here. They didn't turn their backs on us. They've been doing the work. EPA has been here. They haven't left us. But just something like in the back of my mind, it's just like, can it really truly be good in what they say?
Well, this week on Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson, what federal promises of assistance are really worth in the long run? That's Sunday morning at 7:30 right here on Fox 17.
I'm Jeff Harris in Washington, and coming up, the Biden administration taking action today to close what's being called the gun show loophole. What this means for those looking to buy and also sell firearms.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
Federal government's push to get Congress to close a loophole that allows people to buy guns without a background check.
Well, Fox 17 News' Jeff Harris has the story tonight from Washington.
According to the Department of Justice, around 20,000 unlicensed firearms dealers sell firearms either online or at gun shows across the United States, selling without a license for profit. This new rule by the Biden administration makes it mandatory that buyers submit background checks, but it also requires every dealer to have a license. On Thursday, the Biden administration announced they are closing what's commonly referred to as the gun show loophole.
It basically allows people, sellers to sell guns to, regular people without having to submit them to regular background checks.
To close the loophole, the administration is tightening up the definition of what it means to be engaged in the business of selling firearms.
Any individual who actually gains a profit, whether you are a private dealer and you happen to be doing this online, or whether you happen to be doing this at a gun show, you are now required to have a license.
The administration says the change in the language being made by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms is not only in accordance with the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, but it's also more specific to better regulate the market under this new federal law.
A lot of guns are being bought, purchased online, and therefore if you happen to be regularly gaining a profit, whether or not you have a brick or mortar shop or not, you have to have a license.
Associate Professor of Social Sciences at Boston University, Tom Whalen, says this rule change by President Biden could help him come November after receiving backlash over his handling of the war in Gaza.
He wants to assure his base that he hasn't lost his liberal roots, and particularly he is not given up on gun control.
But some argue this new rule could infringe on Second Amendment rights, which is one reason why Whalen expects it to be challenged.
Biden will face the same among, Republican voters who might be thinking that they don't want to vote for Trump again, but gee, look, he's taking away our gun rights.
And this new rule is already being challenged. Republican Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis are planning to introduce a joint resolution of disapproval under the Congressional Review Act to overturn this rule. Reporting for the National Desk, I'm Jeff Harris.
I'm Kayla Gaskins on Capitol Hill. Coming up, we'll take at a new solution to squatting.
Ford Tundra, APR financing as low as 2.25% or a great low lease.
Toyota, let's go places.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
Rite Aid announcing it is closing another 53 additional stores in 9 states as part of the company's bankruptcy proceedings. Stores in California, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Virginia are on the list. Rite Aid filed for bankruptcy in October to try and stem and deal with their high debt. Target is now using secret AI-powered cameras to crack down on shoplifting at self-checkout. The new system uses cameras and sensors to detect items that shoppers did not scan and notify them. It's called TrueScan and also has a system to catch repeat offenders. The updated scanners are expected to reach all stores by the end of the year. And the best fast food restaurants in America have been ranked. Coming in at number 1 is Culver's. Second place goes to Shake Shack, followed by In-N-Out Burger, Whataburger, and Raising Cane's rounds out the top 5. Meanwhile, the president of In-N-Out says she went toe-to-toe in company meetings to keep costs low. This as California's fast food industry sees menu prices soaring amid inflation and the Golden State's new minimum wage hike. That's business. I'm CJ Papa, Fox News.
Well, covering the Capitol tonight, members of Congress weighing in on how to handle the growing problem of squatters.
As Fox 17 News' Kayla Gaskins shows us, a Pennsylvania lawmaker is offering an idea that he believes could have an immediate impact.
Following a series of high-profile incidents involving illegal migrants moving into vacant homes in the U.S., a newly proposed bill on Capitol Hill would make squatting a deportable offense. The bill, introduced this week by Representative Dan Muser from Pennsylvania. Muser said if Congress doesn't address this, migrants will continue to squat in American homes. The problem gaining national attention following a viral TikTok where a Venezuelan migrant posted a how-to video telling other migrants how to use U.S. laws to their advantage to take over homes via squatting.
Ya que me enteré que existe
The migrant influencer account drew 1 million followers. It's currently inactive. The creator arrested last week by federal authorities and is reportedly facing potential firearm charges. The videos are still being shared online. In New York, NYPD arrested 8 migrants squatting in the basement of a home in the Bronx. Police say they found guns, drugs, and a 7-year-old child in the home.
Everything that's part of that scene was illegal. The migrants were illegal, the guns were illegal, the drugs were illegal, and they're making our communities less safe.
Under New York state law, squatters are given tenant rights after 30 days. There's an effort underway by state legislatures to define squatters as criminal trespassers, not tenants, and to treat them as such. The bill introduced in the House would make squatting, at least when it comes to migrants, a federal issue. Meanwhile, the White House has been very clear. They see squatting as a problem for local governments to deal with. On Capitol Hill, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
Warmer weather on the way as we head towards the weekend. Temperatures soaring into the mid to upper 70s for tomorrow, low 80s as we head towards Sunday. We've been waiting for a weekend like this, and we're inching closer to that time period where we'll start to feel a little toasty outside. Temperatures again mid 70s on Saturday, low 80s heading into Sunday. Will be a little bit warmer by Sunday here, mixing in a few clouds too by the afternoon hours. Most importantly, for both of these days, we're going to be feeling nice. I have brought back the muggy meter, unfortunately, for the year, but fortunately, in this instance, I'm bringing it back on good terms. Normally, it's when we're talking about the humid weather. I don't see that this weekend, so it'll feel warm, but it won't feel too humid for both Saturday and Sunday. It'll be feeling comfortable for us throughout the weekend. That is due in part to this north wind that we have continued to see over the past few days, ushering in some cooler, drier air. That will begin to shift as we head towards the weekend. It's going to keep us dry, though, as we head through Saturday and Sunday. With this boundary nearby, I do think we'll have a little bit more cloud cover around, but shouldn't see anything falling from the clouds this weekend. We will be dry until we get into Monday evening, early Tuesday morning. This will be the makings of our next chance for showers. Could see some showers Tuesday afternoon, but the area that I'm looking at a little bit more with the potential of some strong thunderstorms would be Tuesday night. Now, the main focus for severe weather on Tuesday stays to our west. That's the way it's looking right now. It's close enough where I think we need to keep our eye on it at least. Possible that we could see a few of these strong thunderstorms stray into portions of Middle Tennessee. There's still some days to iron it out, so we will keep an eye on it. And of course, keep you updated as we know more. 46 our temperature for tonight. It's going to be a chilly one with mainly clear skies. We're up to about 78 for the high tomorrow. Definitely looking gorgeous for the day. Sunrise, by the way, tomorrow morning right around 6:17 in the morning. It'll be a chilly start again with those temperatures in the mid 40s, but will quickly warm with that dry air and that cool wind that we have in place. 78 for Saturday, Sunday right around 82 degrees. And as we head into early next week, notice that we stay in those mid 80s. So we'll be feeling a little toasty for the beginning of the week here. We're getting into air conditioning territory too. If you haven't turned on and kept on your air yet, I think we're getting to that point. Although I do see a cool down towards the beginning of next week. So after next weekend and into the week after that, still I think temperatures are going to be on the toasty side, especially with a chance for showers and storms in the middle of the week.
Well, strength in the second.
You representing me because I knew I had to have the best.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by the Nashville Preds.
Front office folks with the Tennessee Titans knew they had to make improvements along the offensive line in the offseason.
Well, that's right, and you can't win if your quarterback can't stand up. And today the team traded for an offensive tackle to help with that. Tennessee trading one of their 7th-round picks to the Cleveland Browns in exchange for tackle Leroy Watson. Watson played in just 7 games last season with 0 starts.
But he was coached by the Titans' new offensive line coach, Bill Callahan, the head coach's father. Watson, by the way, the third offensive lineman that the Titans have acquired during the offseason.
The NFL draft is less than 2 weeks away, and Titans head coach Brian Callahan will have some tough decisions to make on the future of the team.
Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick explains why the Titans feel pretty good about their defense and why they made the move for the top cornerback in the entire league.
Titans head coach Brian Callahan said that when it came to free agency, the first thing they did was look at the upcoming NFL draft. Him and his staff assessed the talent pool in the draft and noticed it was not deep with cornerbacks. That's why they went out and signed one of the best cornerbacks in the league in L'Jarius Sneed.
He's going to be sacked way back at the 22 for a loss of 16.
Titans signing Sneed to a 4-year deal worth $76.4 million. And a big reason why is his ability to challenge the best receivers in the NFL. Defensive coordinator Denard Wilson saying, yes, he has unbelievable speed, but it's also Sneed's ability to completely take out the best player on the other team, which then allows the defense to do their thing.
See the smile on my face? No, I put a big smile on my face. Obviously, you know, during that transition period, you know, during free agency, when you get a good player like him, you know, you're always going to be happy. He's a guy that's been consistent throughout his career with the opportunities that he's presented. He's had success, and when you are consistent, you have success, you bring extreme value to a football team.
As having had compete against him, he's such a fantastic player, and the mentality that he brings to the defense, and you pair him with Cheeto, two guys that are really physical, really aggressive. I think they changed the whole demeanor of what you ask in the secondary and then how they play. And I think when you add Roger into that mix as well, the fire that he plays with as a nickel, that's a really good group of corners that play at a high level and demand the same standard.
Titans adding several key players to the defensive side of the ball during the free agency period. However, Coach Callahan made it clear they're not done yet. The NFL draft coming up in just 2 weeks. Day 1 set for Thursday, April 25th, where the Titans will have the number 7 overall pick in the draft. Reporting from the Titans practice facility, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
The hockey now, the Preds winning streak continues. Tonight, the Preds taking down the Blackhawks in Chicago. In doing so, locking up the first wild card spot out west. Final score tonight, Preds 5, Blackhawks 1. We took it to them. So the stage is set now for tomorrow night's action on the ice here at home in Smashville when the Preds take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick will have all the action live from the big building on Broadway tomorrow on Fox 17 News at 9.
The prescription for good health.
Don't miss Ashley's 72-hour sale. Get 30% off your first item plus 20% off the rest of your purchase. Or get 0% interest for 5 years. Shop now, spend less, and get more. Only at Ashley.
Finally tonight, you may want to catch up on your sleep this weekend.
As Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bona shows us, that's because new research shows sleep may very well be the secret to better health.
Hey there, everybody. Hello to you. A good night's sleep, or lack of it, now linked to a number of chronic health problems. It appears to be so powerful that even if you make other healthy lifestyle choices, they don't make up for short snoozing. In fact, a new study on sleep in JAMA Network Open shows those who eat well.
I like carrots. I do like spinach, baby spinach.
But sleep 6 hours a night or less have a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes.
A lot of hormones that are regulated probably during our sleep cycle, that when in the absence of that sleep cycle, or at least duration of sleep, we believe it impairs probably your glucose metabolism and ultimately could predispose you to type 2 diabetes.
Dr. Bradley Jackson says, just like your doctor asks you about other healthy habits when you have a wellness checkup each year, such as exercise.
One of the things that should be an important question, particularly for providers out there with regards to looking at an individual's history, is looking at their sleep cycles, looking at how much sleep they're getting. We don't always place an importance on that.
So why does sleep matter?
Even despite a normal diet and exercise, the sleep cycle is so important in regulating our metabolism.
And that metabolism, according to a second study just released this week in the journal Hypertension, shows also appears to respond not just to how much we sleep, but whether or not we get regular sleep hours. Researchers found people who sleep in on the weekends or who vary times that they go to bed and get up during the week are far more likely to have high blood pressure than those who have consistent time in bed. So based on these studies and several others, sleep recommendations from the American Heart Association are now 7 to 9 hours a night, and you need to keep those hours as consistent as possible. Now, if you do notice that you're chronically just not able to sleep, tell your doctor. They can refer you to a sleep specialist. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
All right, just a few hours away from that for us.
I know.
I could sleep standing up sometimes.
Yeah, I think I may be halfway there already. We are looking at a nice weekend, as I mentioned. Next week will be something we're watching as far as the potential for some showers and storms midweek right now. So the good news is we look out for the weekend. Sunshine the story, highs climbing to the low 80s by Sunday.